battle continues in Hollywood. As we first reported earlier this month, a public pathway on North Beach remains closed, shut down by an adjacent condo association. That association is in violation of city code for blocking a public right-of-way.
And tonight, the question is, when will that public path reopen? Local 10 News investigator Jeff Weinsier is back on the case.
We haven't seen work being done, the danger doesn't seem visible, and the public is getting more and more frustrated with no end in sight.
What right do they have to deny access to the public?
How often do you ride here?
Almost every day.
The fencing, the danger, the warning signs remain up, blocking this public beachside pathway directly behind Renaissance on the Ocean. This path is City of Hollywood right-of-way. It's supposed to allow the public to get from Surf Road over to Dania Beach instead of having to go onto busy A1A. But it's been this way since last year. And those who walk and ride say,
it doesn't look like they're doing any kind of work, so it just seems like they're just trying to keep people out.
While the public is blocked, we continue to see Renaissance residents walk right by those danger signs and use the path as their private pathway to and from their condo. It's supposed to be dangerous and closed.
Well, I live in the building.
Okay.
So it's the only way to come out.
Nobody's allowed to use the path.
Nobody's allowed to use the path, yeah. But you are. The signs and the fencing were put up by the condo association that claim the pathway is dangerous due to erosion issues. Well, this is public right-of-way. As we reported as part of an agreement to build right on the beach, the developer back in 1995 agreed Renaissance on the Ocean will maintain this public path. Now, years later, repairs are costly, likely to be continuous. Engineers need to be brought in, dunes possibly rebuilt, strict Department of Environmental Protection and Army Corps of Engineer rules and permitting must be followed. Is it fair to current condo owners?
The owners all bought with notice of these easements if they looked at the documents.
This is what they got from the developer. They really have no choice in it. We
asked experts in condo law who are not involved in this issue.
It is going to be the association's burden to perform the maintenance and open the easements so that it can be used for its intended purpose.
Maintaining this public pathway comes with another financial burden, serious liability issues for those condo owners.
It can be expensive and it can bring risks of liability if someone is injured on the easement property.
If you have a building with 80 units, these 80 unit owners are now being responsible, being sued for what can be significant amounts of money.
Which is exactly what happened right down the street at the Positano. They have an agreement with the city to maintain the public right-of-way. This path north of the building, this roadway and lighting on the south side. So when someone apparently slipped and fell on this path, they sued the Positano Condo Association, even though it is city right-of-way. There is talk the Positano Association may now go back to the city and ask them to be released of the liability. Ironically, Hollywood's former city mayor lives in the Positano.
It is very likely a losing battle.
That's not a liability a city necessarily wants to take on at this point, and they're going to point to the agreement done with the developer years ago.
So here is what we know. The city manager and an attorney for the building will be meeting behind closed doors next week. And then in June, the condo association will have to go before a special magistrate to deal with violations for blocking a public right-of-way. As for when this path will reopen, at this point, we simply don't know. In Hollywood, Jeff Weinsier, Local 10 News.
Thank you, Jeff, for your reporting. An attorney for Renaissance on the Ocean says the plan is to reopen the path as soon as it is safe to do so, and they are working to assess outstanding matters that must be completed for the safe reopening of the path.